Hey there, today we are going through the 5 blues patterns and ideas you can use to help you learn them. Alright, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through the actual scale patterns because there is numerous websites. You type in blues scale for guitar and you'll come up with diagrams, videos, everything. So you don't need me to do that. What I will show you is the concept, like how you can learn the scale. So I'm not going to play in A, I'm going to play in G. Let's not do E or A. Let's live on the edge. Let's do G. So I'm going to do position 1 here. That's the scale pattern. Learn it inside out, back to front. Once you can play it up and down, to me it's pointless now after I did this up and down stuff and could play it really quickly when I was younger. It's not musical. So what we want to do is turn the scale into music. I find with typical blues stuff, they do come back to the root note a lot. So, learn where your root note is. Learn where your blues note is. Learn where all the notes are in relation to the root note. Okay, so the idea, once you're practicing it, like I've said in one of my other lessons, is practice it rhythmically. So once you know where your fingers are going, if you want to practice it like that, go for it. But I think you're wasting a little bit of time, and if there's one thing I've learned after 20-something years of playing guitar, there's no shortcuts, but there is ways to cram a little bit more into your practice. Rather than spending 10 hours a day practicing, you can spend a few, or even half an hour if you've only got that much time, and try and do a few things at the same time. So I would practice it something like that. I'm just singing in my head. Now, when you've learnt that first pattern, try and come up with some maybe reliable little ideas. Like I do that. It's typical bluesy kind of thing. That kind of stuff. Come up with your own or whatever. Steal someone else's. Just as long as you know that pattern 1 or shape 1, root note, root note, root note. That was going across patterns. Don't worry about that. It's getting silly. Alright, so pattern 2. Learn where your root note is. Come up with some ideas. And that's all. I'm coming back to that root note again. Root note. Root note. Root note. Okay, so when you're playing, when you're soloing using this scale, you will learn where your root note is across the neck and how the scale works in relation to that root note. Next position, position 3. Alright, so we've got a root note here and a root note there. I always found these harder when I was learning because I was used to playing with the root note in the first position. Just get used to that pattern. And so position 1 and 4 I always found easier. The others not so much until I kind of came up with this way of practicing them. So you come up with maybe an idea. Cool. So yeah, in position 3, root note, root note, root note, root note, root note. Oh, hang on, wrong scale. I'm getting lost because I don't want to just play the one scale. It's hard. I find it hard to play just one scale these days. It's weird. So the concept is the same across each shape. Try and come up with some of your own licks, steal someone else's, but do at least 5, so 1 in each position. The next thing I would suggest, so that's treating it as a box, which we want to get out of that playing. So for instance, here's a good thing. You can try and practice playing the scale. Just pick 3 or 4 notes. I'm going to pick 4, so there we go. Landing up there. Instead of playing in that one position, what I want you to do is slide. So here, it's hard to create a smooth melody when you're changing string. So if I play it like that, or like that, same 4 notes. You know, you can do the same thing. Sounds more musical, smoother, melodic. It just sounds nicer on the instrument. It's very, I found in the beginning, very difficult to get smooth with the patterns if I'm just playing up and down one position. So whenever I'm playing now, when I'm soloing, like for instance, if I'm playing, what do I do? I don't know. I'll make something up. Something like that. So I'm not just going. It's all. You know, it's moving around. It sounds a lot smoother than staying in one position. So, I'm going to stop babbling there. I'll be doing more lessons on this. Learn the pattern, one pattern. Do it for a week, 2 weeks, however long, until you really feel comfortable with at least where the notes are. Then move on to the next one. What you can do, this is a good idea, is play up one pattern, then down the next. Do something like that and then go up to the 3rd pattern, then on the 4th. And this, don't do it in a week, don't do the whole lot in a week, just take your time, one at a time. Alright, so I'll do another one, another lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time. Cheers.